In 1963, I was in America and I was learning in Koilach Chazon Ish. And I came to America to take care of my parents. And that time I used to daven 3 times a day with a minyan. Unfortunately, I don't daven with a minyan every time. I just don't have the time. I have disability, but I don't. But that time in 1963, and I was in Manhattan, and I was in Manhattan, and it came time to daven mincha, so I ran to a synagogue in 40th Street, West 40th Street, 7th Avenue, called the Garment Center Synagogue. And I was about to go in around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and someone stops me, and he says to me, "Are you an Orthodox rabbi?" So I said, "Yes, but you have to wait 20 minutes outside. I just have to say my prayers and I'm coming out." After I davened mincha, I came out and he introduced himself that he's not a Jewish man. And he comes from Middlebrook, New York, from uptown New York. And he would like to talk to me. So I took him into some room. The president of the synagogue was at that time Salzman. He gave me a room to speak to him, and his name was George Salzman. And Olav Shalom. And he gave me the room, and we started to tell him that his name is Rockefeller. His father is chairman of the board of Standard Oil Company of New Jersey. And his father was a brigadier general under Mark Clark's army in Italy in 1947. And he came home, he divorced my mother. My mother came from a very big yichus, from a heritage called Longfellow, a very famous writer and wrote poems, and he wrote the Midnight Rite of Paul Revere, and he was brought up by his mother in Millbrook, and at one time he sees a book by Martin Buber, who was a professor in Jerusalem, and he started to read the book, he tells me, and how he writes about Moshe Rabbeinu, he became interested in Judaism. And in this city, there was no Jews. So he went to the next city, there was a Reformed temple. And he started talking to the rabbi, and the rabbi says, "I don't know too much about Judaism. I only perform my duties as a rabbi, and I'm an entertainer for the people that come into the synagogue, but all the things about Judaism I don't know. So if you'll go to the next city where there's a conservative temple, the rabbi knows more about Judaism than myself." He went to the conservative temple, and he met the rabbi, and he started to ask many questions. The rabbi did not have any answers, just like the Reform rabbi. And the conservative rabbi says to them, "Listen, take a bus, go in to New York City, you'll see a person with a long kaftan, black. He's an Orthodox rabbi." He came down from the bus terminal that was on 8th Avenue and 40th Street, and he was going on the street, and he was walking through the synagogue. He met me. So he says to me, "I would like to become Jewish." And he tells me that he was going with a young lady to get married by the name of Mac Manera. Mac Manera was the one from Ford Motor Company. He became later the Secretary of Defense, and he became the president of the World Bank. And he tells this girl, is the daughter of Mac Manera, I don't know if you could become Jewish, has too many responsibilities. And I took him to Rabbi Hutner, and Rabbi Hutner also called some other rabbis, and they were Megayrim, he became Jewish. And he took upon himself not the name Rockefeller, he changed his name, the symbol of anti-Semitism, as I spoke in the prior video, Tuvia Bayless. He changed his name to Tuvia Bayless, and I said to him, here in America, you're 29 years old. I don't think that you'll find here a young lady to get married. Come with me to Israel, and over there we might find a woman to get married. And he told me a very good word. He told me, why he says to me, all of Jews have to have pity on me, and they must help me, because it's written, V'ahavtem Sager, the one who converts to Judaism, you have to love him. So he says to me, why do you have to love a person that converts to Judaism? Because he has no family. An orphan, a widow, anything has family, has uncles, relatives. But a person that converts to Judaism, he's like a newborn child. Gershin is Gaia, he has no family whatsoever. So he's worse than an orphan. So there's a mitzvah in the Torah that you should love him. And I added on to him, and I told him that the Rambam in Igeres writes that there is 46 times in Torah Nevi'im is written V'ahavtem Sager, 46 times, and it starts with a vav, and it ends with a mem, and that comes to identify the pasuk Nosati escheno om hazeh be'eina Mitzrayim v'hoyo kisileichon lo yiseichel reikom. And that pasuk, V'nosati escheno om hazeh be'eina Mitzrayim v'hoyo kisileichon lo yiseichel reikom, Moshe Rabbeinu said this is 46 times, 46 oisias, that he should find Chaim by Paroi, that he should take Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. That's what I added on to be Bayless. And we went to Eretz Yisrael, we bought an apartment in Bnei Brak. And being that I was used to go to the Ger Rebbe, the Beis Yisrael, I came into the Ger Rebbe with him together, and I asked the Ger Rebbe that he converted to Judaism, and his name was Rockefeller. He should give a bracha that he should be able to get married. So the Ger Rebbe says to him, the Rabbeinu Shalom should marry him off. And being that I'm from the heritage of all the Rebbes, I couldn't understand what kind of bracha. I never heard such a thing. So on the spot, I told the Rebbe most probably means the Rabbeinu Shalom should marry him off, because the Gemara says, Malach HaMamun al Haroyin, the angel that is appointed on pregnancy, Noitel Tipel of HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes the tipper that creates pregnancy, and he says to the Rabbeinu Shalom, Tipper Mateale, what would be with this tipper? Chacham or Tippish, smart or stupid, rich or poor, Giboy or Cholish, Abel Tzadik v'Rosh lo yikomer. And the Gemara says in Chagiga that Arboim Yoim, Kodim Yitziras Havlad, the Rabbeinu Shalom calls out Bas Ploini de Ploini. So Bas Ploini de Ploini, and he doesn't know that he'll become later a ger, because Tzadik v'Rosh lo yikomer. So when he becomes a ger, the Malach al-Mamuna al-Aroin is not there. So if the Malach al-Mamuna is not there to say Bas Ploini LePloini, so who should marry him off? The Rabbeinu Shlem. And that's what I told the Rebbe. So the Rebbe said, that's very good, but I didn't have that in mind. But further continued that my Chavrus sitting in Koil Chazon Ish, in Koil Chazon Ish by the name of Eliezer Rabinovich, brought me a girl that came from Sorbonne, from the outskirts of Sorbonne, France, that if you would speak, if the people of that time, in 1963, in that time, would be speaking to a Jew with a beard, they would excommunicate him because they were so assimilated. And this girl, this young lady, was a meyaledet, that she helped to have people that are pregnant to have the child in a hospital. And in 1959 or 1960, there was a big advertisement in all the streets in Stamford Hill in England, and in London, that is, that the Satmar Rebbe, Wonder Rebbe is going to have a tish Friday night. So they went, and all these girls were not religious, and they went to see, because there was cures there for them to see a Wonder Rebbe. And this young lady went in the ladies section, and she saw the Satmar Rebbe the minute she saw her face, and the whole existence turned over, and she became totally religious. And this girl went from England, from Stamford Hill, into some hospital in Yerushalayim, and this girl they brought in front of two rebbeinu to get married, and they became engaged. And they became engaged. I introduced them to Reb Simcha Binem Alter, that he used to Elaine the Ksuba, the Stipler were Masada Kedushin. I, with my Rebbetzin, were Unterfirach, who led the Chosin Kala to the Chuppah, and Baruch Hashem, after the Chasana, and Baruch Hashem, he built a yeshiva in Be'er Sheva that is still standing today for 1,500 kids, and Baruch Hashem, he was, and his father came, his mother came to me in my house, and he called his father my former mother, my former mother, my former father. And Baruch Hashem, he sits and learns, and he went later to France. And after that, I lost contact, but this is the story of what happened with Tuvi Bayless, the son of Rockefeller, who was the president and chairman of the board of Standard Oil Company in New Jersey.